Well, time for me to throw my 2 cents into this big rabbit hole of a mystery. No, not really. Now, I'm going to say this before I talk about this for at least 3-ish minutes. Pokemon Live has been found. Chris Mitchell actually uploaded the whole play on YouTube. And it's been like that for nearly 10 years. Link in the description if anyone's curious. Now, it may not be in the greatest quality, but since this doesn't have any official home video release or anything like such, this is definitely better than this being lost media. So check it out in the description if you actually want to see this. Now, Pokemon Live is something that I have actually never brought up, well, on a video like this or even a post or anything like that in general. Since Pokemon is my second favorite franchise of all time, you would expect me to at least have something to talk about with the whole live musical. But honestly, no. This is something that I never once thought of. Not because I hate it, but allow me to explain a little bit here. So just in case anyone doesn't know, back in Christmas of 2005 or 6, either one of those years, I got into Pokemon because I received the very first DVD of the anime, which contains the very first 3 episodes. And that's how I got into the franchise. And I actually still have the DVD to this very day, even though I barely even watch it, and those 3 episodes are online. But hey, you know what? Something you hold dear that helped you get into a franchise, you want to cherish it for as long as possible. And throughout my whole, technically, career of being into Pokemon, I never knew anything about the live musical. Not as a kid, but rather when I was a teenager, because around the time I first discovered Chattronic in high school, after I checked out his video on the very first Pokemon commercial, at the very end, he threw in a trailer for the Pokemon Live musical. I knew absolutely nothing about it. It looked cool, but that's pretty much it. I didn't think about it for too long. In fact, as soon as the video was even finished, I just kind of moved on. But then again, though, Chattronic did make one video that was barely 10 years ago, that's around 5 minutes long, simply called The Mystery of Pokemon Live. I'm not going to talk about it because I haven't actually seen it. In fact, for Chattronic's Pokemon Live video, I only saw the video where the mystery was solved. That's it. I wasn't interested in seeing the other ones. Not kidding with you. And apparently they had a fair amount of merchandise there. Shirts, a themed sword lightsaber thing where it would light up, and a keychain, which all look cool. And as much as it would be cool to get at least one of these items, I haven't actually looked, but it would probably cost me a few hundred to, dare I say, even a few $1,000s on eBay. Now here's a question I actually haven't answered yet. Hey, were you actually young enough to actually check out Pokemon Live? No. Because first of all, when Pokemon came out, this was back in 1995/1996, and I wasn't even born at the time. And this actually happened, I believe, in 2000, which, again, was the year I was born. And I got into Pokemon, again, in either 2005 or 6, and this was way after the show even happened. Because around the time I got into it, this was when Gen 3 came out, and from what I could gather for the live itself, it mainly focuses on the Kanto region, with some Pokemon from Gen 2, like Ladybug, thrown in here. And apparently this was how Mewtwo was first introduced. Well, no, not really. The first movie introduced Mewtwo. Then there apparently was a Dubai in Spanish version, which I know literally nothing about until today, where I actually rewatched the Mystery is Solved video from Chattronic. But of course, there are human characters like Ash, Misty, Brock, Delia Ketchum, Professor Oak, Giovanni, Jesse James, etc. I could go on. Now I will state this, with the exception of maybe watching a clip or a scene or two, I haven't seen the full play. Which I know may seem genuinely surprising, but yeah, I never really got around to watching it, and this is the same thing with the Bluey play. That, by the way, is also free to watch online, just letting you know. But anyway, back to Pokemon. Maybe we'll talk about that, I guess, if I really feel like it. I want to say this, though. After finding out from Chattronic that this did exist, on the same day I actually first saw that video, I didn't do any research, I didn't look it up or anything like such, I just kinda saw it and then moved on. And quickly after, it was just forgotten to me until Chad made another video or two about it. I don't remember if he made a video after the Mystery of Pokemon Live, but if not, then, well, I just saw his video about the mystery being solved. So here's a too long didn't read of this whole mystery, to put it lightly. There was supposed to be a home media release of the show around the time it actually happened, but 4Kids went bankrupt and they would have had to fight with another company in order to actually make it released. And around the time Chattronic made the third video, or second video about this whole scenario, there were actual puppets found at an abandoned theater where it actually performed many years ago. Somehow Chattronic got a whole script from somebody who sent it to his email. Clips of the Spanish and Dubai version are actually found, and Yeah, I think you might know where I'm trying to end this off here. This is just a confusing rabbit hole, but honestly, it's interesting. It's interesting to see how long the show has gone on, how much stuff we can actually find from it, again, especially since the entire play is free to watch on YouTube. But that's just my whole response. It's interesting. I can't say it's great, I can't even say it's good, but it's interesting nonetheless. Maybe it's because I'm not super big into this compared to literally everything else Pokemon has given us. Or maybe it's just because I didn't grow up with this, or I didn't do further research after I first found out about this. No clue, though. But I don't know what else to say. I mean, if you really want to actually see more detail, then just go watch Chatronix, 2 or 3 videos about this whole thing, and yeah, I'm sure that'll give you way more time needed than what I could possibly say. Like I mentioned, it's cool to find all this stuff out, though. And again, especially since you can check this out whatever you want to. I am more happy to actually know this isn't Lost Media, because if this was Lost Media, oh boy, we would have been screwed from the very beginning. With very little footage and what we do know isn't exactly in the greatest quality. Yes, I know the actual full YouTube video isn't exactly in the greatest quality either, but you know what? It's definitely better than nothing, especially since we can't even get this footage back. Unless maybe Pokemon Live comes back, but I doubt that'll ever happen. With all that said and done, I'll see y'all later before I do next time, because I don't really have a lot more to say about this whole thing, and that'll be all for now.